Hey Blue Crabs fans, are you looking to watch a game from one of our luxury suites? How about the High End Legends Club in left field? Call 301-638-9788 and ask to speak to a sales representative about your party or group outing.
This is Andrew Johnston, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Welcome inside Regency Furniture Stadium. Andrew Banstra here to take you through the series finale of a three-game set between your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and the Somerset Patriots. The Blue Crabs come into today's contest with a second-half record of 19-16, 2 games back in the Freedom Division second half. That's all it is after a Blue Crabs win last night was accompanied by a Freedom Division leading York Revolution alongside a Freedom Division leading Sugar Land Skeeter loss. So the Blue Crabs sitting just 2 games back. They take on the Somerset Patriots, and the Blue Crabs are sitting awfully pretty if you're looking at who's on the mound. Daryl Thompson on the mound, and honestly, the Patriots have a great guy on the mound. It's Liam O'Sullivan, 4-7, 3.43 ERA. In fact, his ERA is .02 better than Daryl Thompson's. But when you look at the storybook season that it's been for Daryl, you just got to take a account for that. This is a guy that this season alone has tossed his 100th professional win, tossed his 2,000th career inning, and struck out his 1,500th batter. He's in line to break the Atlantic League strikeout record set back in 2016, and honestly, maybe even more impressive, he has won each of his last 11 starts. 11 starts, 11 wins for Daryl Thompson. He's 13-6 on the season. That leads the Atlantic League, and it's not even close. And that strikeout number is one to be paying attention to. And I say that because this is a Somerset Patriots team that strikes out very infrequently. Nobody in the Atlantic League strikes out as infrequently as the Patriots do. And the Blue Crabs on the other side tend to give extremely good run support to Daryl Thompson. But on the flip side of things, the Blue Crabs strike out more than anybody in the Atlantic League. The walks are going to be another thing to look at. The Blue Crabs have drawn 80 less walks, make that 70 less walks than anybody else in the Atlantic League. Southern Maryland's 255 walks on the season are second worst in the league, make that worst in the league, and the next best is at 325, while the Patriots find themselves fourth in the league in walks drawn. We look back at last night's contest between the Blue Crabs and the Somerset Patriots. It was a 9-7 win for the good guys as the Blue Crabs came home with a very, very important win. It's going to be extremely key down this stretch as the York Revolution, yes, they've been struggling. The Skeeters are on fire, but can the Blue Crabs win on the nights that they need to win? That would mean that, of course, If the York Revolution and the Skeeters do not win, the Blue Crabs need to pick up a win, and it would be extremely important for Southern Maryland to pick up one of those said wins heading into arguably the most important series of the season coming up after today. The Blue Crabs, after today, take on a really, really tough stretch of games, and I say that because they'll hit the road for a 4-game set with the York Revolution. After that, they'll go to Somerset for 3 games before going to Long Island for another 4. So that's an 11-day road trip. The Blue Crabs will come back for just 3 games at home before hitting the road yet again for another 7-game road trip, including the back end of that being a 3-game series with the York Revolution. So the Blue Crabs, from now until September the 8th, play the York Revolution 11 times. 10 of those 11 will be considered second-half games with a doubleheader on August the 31st against the York Revolution. August the 30th, that's going to be a doubleheader with a 5 o'clock start. So that first game will go against the first half. Won't matter for really either team outside of the fact that if the Revs win, they would technically have the same record as the Sugar Land Skeeters in the first half. The Skeeters would still take the first half championship, considering they have the tiebreaker in head-to-head. So the Blue Crabs come into this contest desperately wanting to get off on a good foot heading into the second half. The Blue Crabs, heading into this road trip. The Blue Crabs are a team that does struggle on the road this season. 28-27 at home. The Blue Crabs are 16-33 while on the road. That being said, in the second half, those numbers get a lot more promising for Southern Maryland, as when you look at those second half numbers, the Blue Crabs find themselves sitting at a 6-7 clip when on the road in the second half, and we take that a step further. Basically, you expect every team to do much better at home than on the road. That was the case in the first half of this Atlantic League season, and in fact, when you look across the Atlantic League, interestingly, 3 teams are faring worse at home. They have a below 500 record at home, but in this second half, it's extremely interesting because when you look at the Long Island Ducks, the New Britain Bees, the Somerset Patriots, and the York Revolution, all of those teams with a record below 500 at home in the second half, we key in specifically on the York Revolution, who are 7-8 at home in the second half. The Blue Crabs 6-7 on the road. The Blue Crabs have extremely struggled against the York Revolution. They've struggled against the Revs more than they have anybody in the Atlantic League this season. They're just 1-8 against the York Revolution, 0-4 on the road. So Southern Maryland desperately needing to pick up some games, but as we get further into this season, there was a time when all we really wanted to focus on was the York Revolution, but now that they've struggled and the Sugar Land Skeeters have prevailed, the Blue Crabs now need to watch out for the Sugar Land Skeeters as well, and that's a squad that they only have 3 more games against in this second half. It will be the final 3 games of the season. It will be in Sugar Land, Texas on September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So the Blue Crabs are trailing both the Skeeters and the Revolution. Both those teams sitting at a 21-14 clip, as the Skeeters find themselves 5-5 in the last 10, and the York Revolution find themselves 3-7 in the last 10. They've lost 3 out of their last 11. They've only won 3 out of their last 11. And more importantly, possibly, would be the fact that before that, the Revs had won 39 of their last 49. So that's something we need to look forward to. But let's get into today's matchup. Give you the starting lineups presented by Birch Oil. Leading off for the Somerset Patriots, a team with a 13-22 record in the second half, 5.5 games back, a half game back of the wild card should one of those open up. Will Kenger leads it off. The third baseman wears number 7 and is followed by the center fielder, number 1, Justin Pacioli. Batting third is the first baseman, number 53, Edwin Espinal. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 34, Mike Ullman. Michael Kraus bats fifth. He plays right field and wears number 22. Jovan Gonzalez follows. He's the catcher, and he's been awfully good in this series. A pair of multi-hit games in each of the first 2 games of this set. Next up, Craig Massey. Massey playing for the second time in this series. He's the second baseman, and he hits .225 on the season. Honestly, when you look at the final third of this Somerset lineup, it looks awfully promising for Southern Maryland, only if you focus on the batting averages. And if you really key in on that, Teodoro Martinez He's done his 171 clip in a small period of time. Scott Kelly, not an everyday guy by any means. He gets a start in favor of Alfredo Rodriguez, who you'd have to imagine is just getting a day off due to rest. He's as close to an everyday guy as they come. And Craig Massey bats seventh. He's more or less an everyday guy. He hits 225 on the season, though. So Massey bats seventh, playing second base. Teodoro Martinez hits 171 in a short time. He plays left field, and Scott Kelly hits 152 on the road this season. He plays shortstop. It's also worth mentioning, as we look at the record chase for Daryl Thompson, who finds himself on pace for 170 and two-thirds strikeouts this season. Right now sitting at 128, chasing 165 to have the most strikeouts in a single season in the Atlantic League's tenured history. Scott Kelly has 5 strikeouts to 15 walks on the road this season. It's very unlikely that he will draw one of those walks against Daryl Thompson. In Daryl's last 35 innings pitched, he's issued just 2 walks. This is an individual that finds himself with a 1.00 whip on the season. And he did walk somebody in his most recent start. In that start against the Sugar Land Skeeters, it was his worst start that he's had in some time. He went 8 innings, allowing 3 earned in the 9th. So he ends up with 6 runs, all of them earned, 10 hits for the first time since early June. He allows 6 runs, all of them earned, 10 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. He walked that individual in the very last inning of play. Daryl takes the mound, accompanied by his team. We'll give you that lineup and much more when we return. It's time for Blue Crabs baseball when we get back on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum is a place with thousands of stories to be told. It's a place to relive baseball's greatest moments and share them with future generations. It's a place to experience the game and how it has shaped our history. Cooperstown is a destination with something for the entire family. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your trip to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown at baseballhall.org.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Daryl Thompson takes the mound as the hometown hero leads the Atlantic League in strikeouts. He leads the Atlantic League in innings pitched. He leads the Atlantic League in wins, and he has a 3.45 ERA on the season. He takes against Liam O'Sullivan. The right-hander has a 4-7 clip with a 3.43 ERA. The lineup behind Thompson, presented as always by Birch Oil, leads off with Kent Blackstone. The shortstop wears number 6. Batting second is the second baseman, Edwin Garcia. He plays right field, and he's followed by Josh McAdams. The first baseman wears number 7. Next up, Tony Thomas. Thomas finds himself batting at a 249 clip on the season with 12 home runs and 47 RBIs. Corey Vaughn also with 47 RBIs. He bats 5th, has 18 home runs and a 278 batting average. Charlie Valerio bats 6th. He also hits at 278. 7 home runs, 32 RBIs on the season. John Griffin bats 7th. The designated hitter wears number 13. And batting 8th is Ruby Silva. He hits .239 on the season, 9 home runs and 38 RBIs. Travis Witherspoon rounds us out on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. He plays left field and wears number 4. As we are ready for Blue Crabs baseball here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network, Regency Furniture Stadium, the site of today's contest, as we take you in to a decisive Game 3 of a 3-game set. And, of course, Daryl Thompson steps on to the mound. He's got Charlie Valerio back behind the dish. Give you the defensive alignment for the Blue Crabs in just one moment. As Daryl Thompson takes the mound, first pitch just misses for strike number 1. Make that ball number 1, I beg your pardon. So 1-0 the count here in the top of the first. At the dish is Will Kenger. He hits one right up the middle and nearly takes Daryl's head off. And we key in on that in particular because Daryl last season missed a better part of 2 months due to getting hit right in the face with a line drive. He broke his jaw. And it seems as though Daryl gets hit has line drives right up the middle all the time. Thompson has taken perfect games into the 6th inning 2 times in his last 7 starts, loses his right away today as Will Kenger reaches base. Justin Pacioli comes to the dish. Pacioli facing off against Daryl Thompson. Kenger likely not a stealing candidate, as Thompson is going to get this one to cross. 0-1 the count. Pacioli on the season hitting at .283, 1 home run, 16 RBIs, as the third base coach delivers some signs. See if a hit and run might be on, maybe a sacrifice bunt. Thompson with a look over to first. Here comes the pitch. No signs of a bunt. A swing and a miss. It is worth noting that Daryl Thompson is on track to break the Atlantic League strikeout record, but he faces off against a team with the least strikeouts in the Atlantic League. Somerset doesn't hit for a whole lot of power, but they hit for very good contact. Curveball in there. Strike number 3. See you later. First strikeout of the night goes down looking, and Daryl Thompson's 129th strikeout of the year is his first out of this Sunday matchup. Next up, Edwin Espinal, the right-handed batsman, hits .260 on the year. 4 home runs to accompany 41 RBIs. He is hitting 13 for 46 against the Blue Crabs this season. He was 1 for 3 with an RBI yesterday. Hitting just .222 in the month of August as a big breaking ball misses the strike zone just barely. And the count, a ball and no strikes. Thompson is the pinnacle of precision out there on the mound. Nobody has better control than Daryl Thompson. On the season, 129 strikeouts, just 12 walks. 1-0 low and outside, the count 2-0. Thompson comes to the mound on the season with a 13-6 record. He has won each of his last 11 starts. That's right, 11 starts. Each of his last 11 starts, he's gotten 11 wins. 3.45 ERA on the season. He did struggle comparatively in his last 2 outings, as Daryl finds himself in his last 15 innings pitched, allowing 10 earned runs and 15 hits. Additionally, he's walked 1, but you look at the whip in those scenarios, and it's just over 1. He's also struck out 13 batters in his last 13 innings pitched coming into today. Make that his last 15 innings pitched. Thompson on his way. Curveball outside corner, the count 3-1. Prior to these last 2 starts, Daryl's 3rd, 4th, and 5th most recent starts, he allowed a total of 3 earned runs in. That included an 8-inning no-hit outing with no run outing with just 2 hits. This ball hit over to the right side. Josh McAdams fires off to second. Here comes the throw to first. A 3-6-3 double play, and the Blue Crabs get out of it here early. Nice throw by Josh McAdams, and we're through a half inning. Good job by Thompson rebounding. Let's take you into a break. You're listening to your Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hi, this is Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk. Make your plans today to visit Cooperstown and the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum.
There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run.
Reconnect with your memories of the game and make new memories with your family. Check out baseballhall.org today for more information.
Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there, Joe.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, preserving history, honoring excellence, and connecting generations.
This is Corey Vaughn. Are you looking for fun on the weekend without breaking the bank? My Eye Doctor Backfin Buddies is for you. For just $15, your child will get in for free to every Friday Blue Crabs home game all season long. Plus, kids receive a Backfin Buddies t-shirt, go on the field for the national anthem, and parents will get a reduced ticket rate. What more could you ask for? Come watch me hit a home run every Friday for just $15.
This is Josh McAdams, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Ken Blackstone leads us off here in the bottom of the first, as we likely have a pitcher's duel on our way here in Southern Maryland. It seems as though on Sunday day games, especially when it's awfully hot outside, we tend to see low-scoring contests. That's definitely the case when the Somerset Patriots are playing. The Patriots 12-3 on the season on Sundays, and their pitching staff has a 2.75 ERA on Sundays this season. Liam O'Sullivan on the mound. On the season for him, a 3.43 ERA, a 4-7 win-loss record, as Blackstone hits one sky high to the right side. Coming under it is the first baseman, Edwin Espinal. He gloves it for out number one. In Daryl Thompson's first half, he allowed a single to lead things off. Struck out his 129th batter of the season for out number one, and then induced a 3-6-3 double play, so he faces the minimum in the top of the first. Ken Blackstone flies out to lead us off, and Edwin Garcia comes to the dish. The second baseman batting .268 on the season, 3 home runs, 42 RBIs. Edwin has been spectacular in the month of August. Liam O'Sullivan out of the windup. Here comes the right-hander. First pitch right up the middle. Edwin Garcia starts us off with a base hit. So 1 down and 1 on. And a really good sign for the Blue Crabs early, as the York Revolution are trailing the Lancaster Barnstormers 4-0 already. That game did start at 1 o'clock. Right now, that game in the bottom of the third inning. The Barnstormers put up 3 in the first, 1 in the second. The Skeeters will not play until 7:05 Eastern time this evening. So the Blue Crabs will not know really where they stand in the Atlantic League Freedom Division second half until the end of the day. Josh McAdams up to the dish. He was our player of the game last night. As he singles to the right side, that should get down and does. Back-to-back hits. Edwin Garcia rounding second. A throw from right is in time. Wow. I did not think that was even all that close, as Michael Krause issues A really nice throw, but I think that's a tough call for the Blue Crabs as back-to-back hits give us just one on and one down. Excuse me, two down as Tony Thomas comes to the dish. I did think it was close. Garcia had his body trailing his feet, obviously, but it seemed as though what I'm trying to say is his slide was a little bit delayed. Nonetheless, I did think he was in there. Here comes Liam O'Sullivan. Nice play by his outfield. As this one well struck into the right side. Could it get over the head? No, it won't. As we find Michael Krause making a pair of really nice plays. We're through an inning in Southern Maryland. Either side has made a terrific defensive play. And here we go into the second. Right after this break, you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Adam Choplik, left-handed pitcher for the Blue Crabs. Every Blue Crabs Wednesday home game is Wind Up Wednesday Ladies Night at Regency Furniture Stadium, presented by Cove Point Winery. At every Wind Up Wednesday Ladies Night, women will get in for just $5 and can order from a long list of fine wines and watch every baseball game from Southern Maryland at the same time. We look forward to seeing you at the ballpark.
Daryl Thompson back on the mound for his second inning of work. In his first inning, he allowed a single, struck out a batter looking, and then induced a ground ball double play. Thompson comes back out, faces off against Mike Ullman. First pitch in there, high and outside, but catches the strike zone. Thompson in search of his 12th win in his last 12 starts. The right-hander has been magnificent this season as a fly ball to the right side. Josh McAdams ranges back. He does call off the second baseman, Edwin Garcia, and an F4 leads us off here in the second. Thompson leads the Atlantic League in innings pitched this season, coming into today at 143 and a third. Additionally, his 128 strikeouts coming into today are on track to break an Atlantic League record. He's on track for 171. The league record is just under that. And additionally, we find ourselves with Thompson leading the Atlantic League in wins at 13. This pitch misses just a little bit inside the count 1-0. He faces off against Michael Krause, who made a pair of really nice defensive plays in this most recent half inning. Strike swung through on the outside corner, the count 1-1. Krause played in the Pan American Games for Team Canada in this very last month. The right fielder wears number 22. Cutter on the outside corner, not quite there, the count 2-1. Appreciate everybody tuning in here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. Southern Maryland in a playoff push, and we need all of your support here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. 2-1, swung on and missed. Nice pitch from the hometown hero, Daryl Thompson. And the count, 2-2. So Thompson looking to break that Atlantic League strikeout record. He needs 6 to stay on track to very much beat it. As a line drive to the left side, a jumping Kent Blackstone catches it for out number 2, and Thompson continues to roll here in Southern Maryland. After allowing a single to lead things off tonight, Daryl has now struck out 3, has retired 5 straight. There has been 3 hits in this contest, 2 of them from the Blue Crabs, as Jovan Gonzalez steps into his right-handed batter's box. The catcher has multi-hit games in each of the first 2 games of this series. He is the only person to do that. In fact, in the series opener, he was the only Patriot with a multi-hit effort. First pitch in there on the outside corner. 0-1 on its way from Thompson. He always works fast. This one spoiled off to the right side, and the count 0-2. As we look at Daryl's numbers to this point in the contest. After this pitch, the 0-2 on its way. It's a curveball, well hit to the left side. Ranging back is Travis Witherspoon. He nears the warning track, gets there, but catches it for out number 3. And we are through the first inning and a half of baseball here in Southern Maryland. As we look at Daryl Thompson's pitch count to this point, he has now thrown 21 pitches through 2 innings. Not too shabby. We take into the bottom of the second with a scoreless contest at Regency Furniture Stadium.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, this is Andrew Banstra, the voice of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and I want you to come see America's pastime change before your eyes. Did you know that the Atlantic League is partnered with the MLB starting this season to incorporate an electronic strike zone to call balls and strikes at Blue Crabs games? That means a radar tracking technology and an MLB-defined strike zone will determine strikes and balls at Southern Maryland Blue Crabs games this season. Also, batters can steal first base on any pitch that is not caught by the catcher. Baseball is changing before our eyes, and the only place to see it happen is here in the Atlantic League and at a Blue Crabs game. So come check it out at Regency Furniture Stadium.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, this is Tommy Thorpe, left-handed pitcher for the Blue Crabs. Did you know that every Thursday night game at Regency Furniture Stadium will feature the brand new food special, Clyburn's Chow Hall? Just for $30, you can enjoy all-you-can-eat food in the Legends Club. Clyburn's Chow Hall will alternate between beer and wings presented by Foster Grill off Waldorf and tacos and margaritas presented by Mexico Restaurant.
This is Corey Vaughn, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Corey Vaughn introduces himself as we take you into the bottom of the second inning with a 0-0 score here in Southern Maryland. The Blue Crabs looking to win this series. They have split each 2 games to this point. Interestingly, the Blue Crabs started off this homestand with a 4-game set. They lost both the series opener and the series finale, won each of the 2 games in between. This series, the Blue Crabs lost the series opener, but won the middle game. The Blue Crabs looking to get it done and take home a series win against the Patriots. Liam O'Sullivan back on the mound, Vaughn at the dish. First pitch inside, ball number 1. Corey Vaughn, a .278 hitter on the season. That is tied among qualifiers on the Blue Crabs for average this season. Vaughn fouls one to the left side, and the count 1-1. Corey with 18 home runs, that leads the Blue Crabs team. His 47 RBIs are also tied for a team lead. Another fastball inside. 2-1 the count from Liam O'Sullivan. He allowed a pair of hits back in that first inning. It was to Edwin Garcia and to Josh McAdams. But Garcia tried to round second and get into third, and on a controversial call, was called out on a nice throw from Michael Krause for out number 2 of that inning. Vaughn steps back in for a 2-2 count. Liam O'Sullivan back on the mound. The pitch on the outside corner. Vaughn takes it the other way but fouls it. As the Blue Crabs continue their playoff push, they do not only need to watch out for the York Revolution anymore, as the Sugarland Skeeters have become awfully dangerous in their own right. They did already win the Freedom Division first half, but if they win the second half, the wild card would be opened up, and that gives a wild card to anybody across the league with their season record, not just the half record. So the Blue Crabs would not really be in contention for that all that much. Nice off speed on the outside corner, swung on and missed by Vaughn, and out number 1 comes and goes. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast that we would expect a pitcher's duel in this contest, and we've gotten it to this point. We mentioned that because two of the top pitchers in the Atlantic League are facing off against each other today, but additionally, the Blue Crabs and the Somerset Patriots fare extremely well on Sundays. We also see a lot of quick games that feature pitchers' duels on Sundays where it's very hot outside, as Charlie Valerio comes into his left-handed batter's box, the switch hitter. First pitch catches the outside corner for strike number 1. And once this automated ball strike system, the electronic strike zone, was implemented, it took me a little while to get used to. Typically, if I thought something was a strike, I would just say it right away and might be tricked up a little bit by the automated ball strike system that has a little bit of a different zone than your typical umpire, but I think I'm getting a little bit more used to it now. I think the players are too. 1-1 on its way from O'Sullivan. Valerio jammed up and smacks one back into the screen. John Griffin awaits on deck, and if we get that far, Ruby Silva would be in the hole with Travis Witherspoon to follow. The Blue Crabs with 2 hits to this point, stranded a runner back in the bottom of the first. That was Josh McAdams, who was at first. The 1-2 to Valerio. Outside corner, misses, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned that Corey Vaughn is tied for the team lead in batting average among qualifiers for the Blue Crabs this season. Came into this contest tied with Charlie Valerio, who now has the team lead. Sits at 278. Curveball in the dirt, misses, and we're full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Valerio, interestingly, is good friends with Manny Ramirez, the potentially future Hall of Famer. Manny Ramirez and Charlie Valerio once went on a month-long vacation to Japan together. Here comes the payoff pitch. Inside corner, skied to the right side. Back on it is the second baseman, Craig Massey. He catches it about 3 feet into the outfield grass, and out number 2 has come and gone. This game started not too long ago. The first pitch was thrown at 2:07. The time is now 2:29. Although, honestly, for a game that's featured just 3 hits, it has been a little bit longer than I would have anticipated. It is awfully hot outside, which typically induces much quicker contests, maybe swinging more frequently and more early in the count. As the first pitch to John Griffin on its way. He takes on the outside corner for ball number 1. Liam O'Sullivan came into this contest with a 4-7 win-loss record and a 3.43 ERA. The right-hander working out of his windup. It's a slower windup as this one chopped off to the left side. Will Kenger comes in, catches it underhand, and fires across the infield for out number 3. So we are scoreless through 2 innings of baseball here in Southern Maryland. We take a short break before coming right back on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, are you looking to watch a game from one of our luxury suites with 25 of your closest friends? How about the high-end Legends Club in left field? Call 301-638-9788 and ask to speak to a sales representative about your party and group outing.
Johnston, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Craig Massey leads us off in the top of the third inning. As back in that bottom of the second, the Blue Crabs came up empty. And we'll look into the bottom of the third to get the scoring started. That's what happened last night. The Blue Crabs plated 2 runs in the third, 6 runs in the bottom of the fourth, and they would cling on to a 9-7 victory after the Patriots put a scare into the Blue Crabs with a 4-run top of the eighth. Interestingly, in innings 1 through 6 combined in the first 2 games of this series, the Patriots have scored all of 2 runs, but in innings 7 through 9, Southern Maryland has struggled as the Patriots have found themselves plating a whole lot of runs. They have plated a total of 9 runs in innings 7 through 9 in the first 2 games combined. Craig Massey steps in to count a ball and a strike to the left-handed hitter. He swings through the pitch on the outside corner in the count 1-2. Massey on the season hits just .225, 2 home runs and 19 RBIs. The left-handed hitter wears number 25 on the back of his jersey. Here comes Thompson with the 1-2, inside corner, and it misses. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we enjoy you turning into this Blue Crabs Broadcast Network presentation of a game, it's a series finale between your Blue Crabs and the Somerset Patriots. As Daryl Thompson issues strikeout number 2 of his day, the right-hander continues on a treacherous pace in the strikeout category this season. The hometown hero is on track to break the Atlantic League strikeout record, and that one right there was strikeout number 130 of the season. He is now really feeling close to that record. He is just 35 strikeouts away from breaking the Atlantic League single-season record. A tremendous season for the hometown hero. His former teammate comes to the plate. Sky high goes a foul ball to the left side. Tony Thomas, an outfielder slash infielder, catches it for out number 2. So a quick 1-pitch out gets us into the final out of this inning here in the top of the third. It is a series deciding contest, and the Blue Crabs opt with their ace to go to the mound. Thompson leads the Atlantic League and wins with 13. He's won each of his last 11 starts. He has a 3.45 ERA. That is good for 7th best in the Atlantic League. The 9-hole hitter, Scott Kelly, comes to the plate. Kelly hits .214 on the season, no home runs, 9 RBIs. On the road this season, he hits just .152, no home runs, but 3 RBIs. First pitch on the outside corner, strike number 1. As we continue to look at that strikeout number, Kelly has only struck out 5 times on the road this season. In the meantime, he's drawn 15 walks. The 0-1 on its way, dashes the outside corner. 0-2 the count as Thompson continues his pinpoint precision. Thompson on track for 17 1/3 wins this season. The league record is 18 wins in a season. So Thompson in real striking distance to find himself potentially breaking the Atlantic League record in strikeouts and wins in a season. Ground ball to the left side. Blackstone makes a nice play, and we're through 3 innings of defense for Southern Maryland. Thompson has faced the minimum of 9 batters, and we flip it into the bottom of the third with 8-9-1 due up. You know what that means? It's Ruby Silva, Travis Witherspoon, and Kent Blackstone when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Craig Stem, right-handed pitcher for the Blue Crabs. Here at Regency Furniture Stadium, we've dedicated every Friday home game to remember everybody deployed. On Red Fridays, presented by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, the Blue Crabs will wear red uniforms to honor those who have served. Plus, tickets are just $5 when you show your military ID. Come help us celebrate those who have served our country at Regency Furniture Stadium every Friday night.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, this is Andrew Banstra, the voice of the Blue Crabs, and I have some exciting news for you. Did you know that the Blue Crabs Atlantic League has partnered with the MLB? This groundbreaking partnership includes rule changes that foreshadow the future of America's pastime as we know it. The MLB wants to create more offense and cut down on the time of games, and the rule changes to achieve this include banning mound visits, requiring each pitcher that enters the game to face at least 3 batters, and shortening time in between innings, and much more. more. Come be the first to see the future of baseball at Regency Furniture Stadium.
This is Ryan Chafee, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Ruby Silva leads us off in the bottom of the third inning of baseball here in Southern Maryland. The left-handed batsman already has a home run in this homestand. That was back in the series finale just a couple of days ago against the Sugarland Skeeters. The Blue Crabs would go on to drop that contest. First pitch to Silva, misses on the inside corner as it backs him off the plate. And back onto the mound for his third inning of work is Liam O'Sullivan. First pitch was 31 minutes ago, and we're already in the bottom of the third. Silva hits one through the right side. That gets up the middle. Nice effort by the second baseman, Craig Massey, but Silva comes through, and he has now had hits in 6 of his last 7 games. Leadoff man gets on. Travis Witherspoon up to the dish. He got a bunt single last night when all he was trying to do was move Silva over to second base on what he was trying to make a sacrifice bunt. Witherspoon with great speed. He has an .091 batting average on this season and not all that many games played, although he's played a lot more in this homestand. This is 4th of 7 games being played in the homestand as he shows bunt, pulls it down to the left side. Will Kenger gobbles, throws to first base, and a nice play to get the sacrifice bunt and move the runner into scoring position here with just one down for the Blue Crabs. And that's how you play small ball for the Blue Crabs. That is the 27th sacrifice of the season, the 6th sacrifice in 16 games against the Somerset Patriots. You got to get the small ball going if you're the Blue Crabs, and that's what they do here in the bottom of the third. That gives way to Kent Blackstone. The RBI numbers for Blackstone, not what they were at a point during this season, but to be completely honest, as a leadoff man, you don't always get all that many opportunities for the runs batted in. And that's kind of the story for Blackstone. He has 17 of them on the season and 80 games played. As a right-on-left matchup. Good speed at second as Blackstone breaks his bat off to the right side. Craig Massey steps back, catches it, throws it off to first base for out number 2. And that is the 3rd time during this series that we've seen a broken bat have the barrel of the bat go into the infield dirt, as Kent will have to get a new bat out of the bag. And up to the dish comes the RBI machine himself, Edwin Garcia. No rain at the moment, but my weather app tells me that rain is expected to start in just a little bit. 3:04 would be the time that the rain is projected to start at. As Garcia comes up to the dish. First pitch misses just a little bit in the count 1-0. Edwin finds himself in this second half already having knocked in 22 RBIs. That happens in just 35 games played. Additionally, on the season, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, Edwin Garcia is hitting .413. That is an incredible number that by far and away leads qualifiers on the Blue Crabs. The right-handed batsman steps back in. The delivery from O'Sullivan spoiled off to the right side in the count 1-2. So this inning started off with a base hit single by Ruby Silva. A sacrifice bunt from Travis Witherspoon moved him into scoring position. Blackstone grounded out to move him over to third. As Garcia steps back in. Fastball high and outside, the count even at 2 strikes. Josh McAdams awaits on deck. Tony Thomas is in the hole should this inning continue. As the Blue Crabs playoff push continues. Appreciate you tuning in right here at Regency Furniture Stadium. 2-2 on its way. Garcia spoils it off. And the count remains at 2-2 Ruby Silva with good speed stands 90 feet away from scoring the first run of this contest. The scoring got started for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the third last night. Southern Maryland struck with 2 runs to make it a 1-run deficit at the time before putting up a half dozen in the bottom of the fourth. 2-2 to Garcia, smacked into the dirt, and we'll stay at 2-2. Those 6 runs in the bottom of the fourth were tied for the second most runs scored in an inning this season for Southern Maryland. The most runs scored was back on May the 11th in a doubleheader against the New Britain Bees, where the Blue Crabs put up 7 in 1 inning. After trailing 5-0, the Blue Crabs would come back to win that game 10-8. 2-2 once more to Garcia from O'Sullivan. Inside corner, and it's pounded into center field. Coming in on it is the center fielder, Justin Pacioli, and he catches it for out number 3. So we're through a third of a baseball game here at Regency Furniture Stadium and remain scoreless on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. Coming up for the Patriots, the top of the order, Will Kenger, Justin Pacioli, and Edwin Espinal when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
I'm Stephen Thompson, box office assistant for the Blue Crabs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? On August the 17th, come out to visit Regency Furniture Stadium as we celebrate Jurassic Park night at the ballpark. We will have a dinosaur appearance and fireworks after the game. We look forward to seeing you on August 17th for all the festivities at the ballpark.
This is Tommy Thorpe, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Tommy Thorpe welcomes us into the inning. Coming up to the plate will be Will Kenger. Kenger has the only hit for the Patriots in this contest. That came back in the top of the first inning. He comes back up for the first time here in the fourth, meaning that Thompson has faced the minimum through 3 innings on the mound. After allowing that single to Kenger, Thompson issued a strikeout looking to Justin Pacioli, who awaits on deck. After that, he got a 3-6-3 double play ball. And ever since that first inning, he struck out 1 while retiring, now 9 straight. Kenger has had success not only during the course of this season, but throughout the course of this series as he hits one hard to the left side. Witherspoon back to the track, bounces off the left field mini monster, and Kenger's going to at least get 2. For the second night in a row, Will Kenger provides the first 2 Somerset Patriot hits of the contest, as he has been smoking hot throughout this series. In the very first game of this series, Kenger reached via the error to lead off the contest. He would be stranded at second throughout the duration of that first inning, as Dustin Knight tossed a beautiful 6 innings, allowing 2 earned that night. As the Blue Crabs' playoff push continues, Daryl Thompson looks to keep shattering records, looking to pick up his 12th straight win today. First pitch to Justin Pacioli, misses on the outside, make that the inside corner. 1-0 the count. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network on a Sunday in Waldorf, Maryland. A hot one here at Regency Furniture Stadium, as the sun and the humidity will play a factor in this contest. There's no question about it. Thompson to look back to second. Now another one. Coming home with the pitch out of the slide step. Blooper into shallow right field. Edwin Garcia about 3 or 4 feet into the right field portion of the grass. Finds himself snagging it for out number 1. So Thompson has thrown a perfect game outside of a man named Will Kenger. Daryl has now retired 9 of 11 batters, with the only 2 that have reached being Will Kenger. He's 2 for 2 today. Daryl is off of his roughest outing, fresh off his roughest outing in some time. He allowed 6 earned in 8 innings, 3 of those coming in the 9th inning. There were runners on the corners when he was exiting the contest. And the first pitch Ryan Chafee allowed was a 3-run home run. So those runs were accredited to him as a foul ball gets into the seeding bowl. 0-1 the count to Edwin Espinal. Espinal, a .260 hitter on the season, 4 home runs, 41 RBIs. He is 0 for 1 today as he grounded into a 3-6-3 double play ball. Josh McAdams is a two-way player for the Blue Crabs. He also pitches, but the first baseman throws around 94 to 95 miles an hour, so he had a good enough arm to turn the double play ball. 0-1 up the middle. Here comes Kent Blackstone. He dives, won't get there. Corey Vaughn will come up throwing, and he bobbles the ball. So the Patriots strike first here in the top of the 4th inning. An RBI single for Edwin Espinal. His 42nd run batted in of the season. 1-0 the score early. It is worth mentioning that this this series has been a back and forth one. In game 1 of the series, the Blue Crabs were up 2-0 heading into the 7th inning. The Patriots scored 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th to win a 5-2 contest. Last night, the Patriots struck first. They were up 3-0 going into the 3rd. The Blue Crabs put up 2 runs in the 3rd, 4 runs in the 6th, make that 6 runs in the 4th inning, I beg your pardon, and would end up winning that contest by a score of 9-7. So despite the fact that the Blue Crabs are 9 games above 500 when scoring first this season, and just 15-39 when their opponents score first, to this point in the series, it's only mattered, really, who doesn't score first. So that's a good sign for the Blue Crabs. The count of ball and a strike. If you're tuning in, watching out for the strikeout record for Daryl Thompson on its way. It's a good thing he's already struck out 2 batters in 3 1/3 innings. Fastball hits sky high into shallow left field. Kent Blackstone backs off a little bit into shallow left and catches it using his glove, his sunglasses for out number 2. Here comes the 5-hole hitter, Michael Kraus. It is his 2nd game played in this series. He batted in the 5-hole in game 1, but played center field. Today he bats in the 5-hole playing right field. He lined out on a sharply hit ball to the shortstop, Kent Blackstone, for out number 2 of the 2nd inning of play. Thompson has allowed a earned run in this contest. The ERA has dropped, however. It came in at 3.45, sitting at 3.43. First pitch misses on the outside. The count 1-0 to the Canadian native, Michael Kraus. He played in the Pan American Games for Team Canada. As Thompson looks over to first, the right-hander comes set with his red glove. Another pitch misses just outside, and the count 2-0. Daryl has thrown 42 pitches, 28 of them strikes. His precision is just out of this world. This season, he has struck out 130 batters while walking just 10. This pitch hits sky high and out of play. Charlie Valerio, with his sunglasses on under his catcher's mask, will just flip a ball back to Thompson, and the count 2-1. So the pitch count sitting pretty for Daryl. He tends to work extremely deep into games. I would be surprised if he didn't throw at least 6. I would bet I'd bet very high on the count that he'd work at least into the 7th, and I would not at all be surprised if he threw 9 innings, or at least worked into the 9th. The count 3-1 for the 2nd time this evening. Only the 2nd time that Thompson's had 3 balls in a count. The last time he induced a double play ball. That was a 3-6-3 double play back in the first to end the inning. Curveball in the outside corner, swung on and missed, and the count full at 3-2. Krause finds himself at this point hitting at a 239 clip on the season. Came into today at a 240 batting average. He's 0 for 1. Thompson with a runner at first. It's Espinal. He's not being held on. He'll go on the pitch. And jammed up was Michael Krause, but he fouls it over our heads in the press box. And the count remains full. Will Wallenhouse, the bat boy, comes and gives some balls to our home plate catcher, who kicks some dirt off of the plate, and he'll get back behind Charlie Valerio. Thompson, 13-6 on the season, came in at a 3.45 ERA. The score 1-0, the Patriots on top after earlier in this half inning, Edwin Espinal drove in a run on a single. Will Kenger scored. Payoff pitch once again, and time called just before the pitch, as the count will remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson on pace for 17 1/3 wins this season. He has won each of his last 11 starts and typically gets very good run support from his Blue Crab squad. 3-2 pitch is just outside. I just don't know where that pitch missed, as Daryl Thompson issues an extremely rare walk. It almost doesn't feel right to put a walk in the score column when Daryl Thompson's on the mound, considering this season he struck out 130 batters while walking just 13. Tonight, the 381st start of Daryl Thompson's professional career. It's his 159th appearance in the Atlantic League, and it's his 152nd start in the Atlantic League. Thompson has just been prime time in these last couple of years, as the first pitch to the next man up to the plate is fouled off to the left side. It's Yovan Gonzalez. Thompson was an All-Star this season. That was his 3rd straight All-Star selection in the Atlantic League, his 4th overall. He has dominated the Atlantic League throughout his career, dating back to 2015. 71 of his last 94 starts have been quality starts, with 77 of those 94 coming with 3 runs or less. Curveball hit to the left side. Tony Thomas gloves it, throws to second. Edwin Garcia catches it, and we are through the top of the 4th inning. The Somerset Patriots do get one across. Will Kenger doubled to the left side, and Edwin Espinal brought him home on an RBI single. We take into the bottom of the 4th with a 1-0 game in Southern Maryland.
This is Adam Choplik, 6'9" lefty of the Blue Crabs, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Josh McAdams leads us off. He was our player of the game last night. He went 2 for 5 yesterday with 2 RBIs, and he was inches from picking up a inside the park home run. You can hear him talk about that and much more on all of our social media platforms where we have that interview posted. McAdams up to the plate. Liam O'Sullivan's first pitch misses inside, and O'Sullivan must be a happy guy. He's allowed 3 hits through 3 innings, no runs scored, and currently his team is leading after Edwin Espinal pounded one up the middle. The 1-0 on the outside corner, but it catches for strike number 1. Daryl Thompson has picked up each of his last 11 starts as wins. That being said, Liam O'Sullivan, who came in with a better ERA than Daryl Thompson, not by much, but .02 better, found himself at a 4-7 win-loss record on the season. The Blue Crabs often give Daryl Thompson very good run support. He is the pitching coach, and I would argue the team captain. 1-2 on the outside corner. It catches for strike number 3. And to be completely frank, this automated ball strike system is typically extremely accurate on the corners. But after Daryl Thompson walked a batter, just his 13th walk of the season and well over 140 innings pitched, that pitch right there also was a little bit questionable. I thought it was a little bit on the outside corner. Tony Thomas comes up to the dish, 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. He hits the first pitch. He sees a sky-high pop-up off to the right side, but it's foul, and the count 0-1. O'Sullivan has been awfully good to this point. It is a premier pitching matchup in the Atlantic League this afternoon. Pop up to the left side. Will Kenger coming in alongside Yovan Gonzalez. He catches it for out number 2. Nice play by the catcher. You couldn't ask for a much better pitching matchup in the Atlantic League. Liam O'Sullivan came into today's contest with the 7th, make that 8th best ERA in the Atlantic League, while Daryl Thompson came in with the 9th best ERA in the Atlantic League. Corey Vaughn comes up to the dish. 3 times in the last 2 homestands, Corey Vaughn has provided the very first run of the Blue Crabs offensive game via the home run. All of those coming in the 2nd inning. Here we are in the bottom of the 4th. Vaughn 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The count 1-0. Corey finds himself hitting .239 against the Patriots coming into play today. He's drawn 8 walks in 15 games. Elevated fastball swung on and missed. The count even in a ball and a strike. And the Blue Crabs' prime time to shine would be the 4th and 5th innings. Southern Maryland struggles offensively and defensively in innings 1 through 3. But in innings 4 and 5, the Blue Crabs find themselves outscoring opponents by a combined 34 runs. Additionally, the ERA is the best in the Atlantic League for the Blue Crabs in those innings. A ball and 2 strikes the count. So if there was a time that would make sense to strike, it would be right now. This series hasn't made all that much sense. Statistically, there has been anomalies in this in this series. As this pitch on the outside corner, it does cross for strike number 3, and we're through 4 innings of baseball in Southern Maryland. The score 1-0 Patriots on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey, Blue Crabs fans, are you looking to watch a game from one of our luxury suites? How about the High-End Legends Club in left field? Call 301-638-9788 and ask to speak to a sales representative about your party or group outing.
This is Craig Stem, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Daryl Thompson back out for his 5th inning of work. We've seen just 6 combined hits through the first 4 innings. Also to be mentioned, the fact that we've seen no errors through the first couple of innings. It has been awfully sloppy defensively for these two teams in the first 2 games of the series. We have seen a combined 7 errors in the first 2 games, but it's a blank slate in the E column today. Terrific pitching from both sides, and that was to be expected. Thompson faces off against the 7-8-9 of the Patriots order, beginning here with Craig Massey. 7-8-9 has batting averages that read as follows. It's 225, 171, and 214. Soft chopper to the right side. Underhand toss is in time to first base. And Thompson with a quick 2-pitch first out of this inning. Garcia with a nice defensive play, and that gives way to Teodoro Martinez. Teodoro, a former Blue Crab. He has 4 RBIs in this series. Each of his RBI hits came with a pair of RBIs attached to them, and more importantly, both of those hits put the Patriots ahead, one coming in the series opener, one coming yesterday. But the Blue Crabs have found themselves winning one of these contests in the series. Teo showed bunt but took back for ball number 1. Here comes Thompson. Slider on the outside corner misses, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to Martinez. Teo hitting just at 167 on the season. He does have 2 home runs. He is not at all known as a home run hitter. Fastball outside corner. Tony Thomas leaps out of the air. Wow, did he get up on that play. Thomas shows off the bunnies and gets out number 2 across the infield. What a play by Tony. Can't say enough about that one. Wow. Thomas has great speed. Is an all-around great athlete, as he just showed us right there. He was the first person in professional baseball history to steal first base. And his 5 stolen bases in the second half rank among the top 20 in the Atlantic League. Here comes Scott Kelly with 2 down. Thompson darts the outside corner for strike number 1, looking to Kelly. Kelly with very good plate vision. The shortstop for the Patriots today, on the road this season, has struck out just 5 times while drawing 15 walks. 0-2 the count from Thompson on a nice curveball. Daryl covers his face with his glove. Here comes the 0-2. Curveball in there for strike number 3. See you later. 3rd strikeout of the evening for Daryl Thompson. And it's a 1-0 game through half of a contest in Southern Maryland. Stick around for the bottom of the 5th. Upcoming for your Blue Crabs will be Charlie Valerio, John Griffin, as well as Ruby Silva when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
John Hayes, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back into Southern Maryland. We take you into the bottom of the fifth inning of baseball here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network. Charlie Valerio leads us off. The switch hitter comes in from the left side to take on against the right-hander Liam O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's been awfully good through his first 4 innings, allowing just 3 hits. In the meantime, the right-hander has had the strikeouts going too. He struck out 3 while walking nobody. His ERA all the way down to 3.30. As Valerio comes back to the dish, he waves his tan bout out in front of his body. Here comes the O'Sullivan delivery, who has an interesting delivery to the plate. He really gets into those legs, but it's a slow delivery that starts with 1 foot off of the rubber, kind of angled towards the Blue Crabs dugout, leans back, pauses for a moment, and then just sinks. Literally pauses for a moment at the top of his windup, and then just sinks all the way down like he's going down an elevator and really gets into that back leg, which is really important to do for a pitcher. You wonder if at some point in his career a coach said, just try this, just to try to get in your back leg, and it worked in that drill, and he just kept it in his pitching repertoire. 1-2, shooting a bunt by Charlie Valerio. He told me that he really likes to bunt with 2 strikes. He's a guy that has always shown us a lot of bunts, but considering the fact that you are allowed to bunt with 2 strikes and you have a mulligan, now in case you hit the ball foul, per the Atlantic League MLB rule changes, he's a guy that's really taken advantage of that. O'Sullivan comes back to count a ball and 2 strikes. He's thrown 46 pitches, 33 of them for strikes. Valerio patiently awaiting. Takes high and in, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs looking to pick up a series win against the Somerset Patriots after dropping Game 1 of the series. A little bit of a pull shift to Charlie Valerio, the defensive alignment for the Somerset Patriots. From left to right in the outfield, it's Teodoro Martinez, Justin Pacioli, and Michael Krause. In the infield, it's Will Kenjer at third, Scott Kelly at short, Craig Massey at second, and at first, Edwin Espinal. This pitch low and inside, the count 3-2. Behind the dish, Jovan Gonzalez and Liam O'Sullivan on the mound. We expected a pitcher's duel here today in Southern Maryland, as typically when it's hot outside on a Sunday while the sun's beating down on a hot day, all of those things true today here in Waldorf, Maryland, we find ourselves with low-scoring contests. Valerio called strike number 3. He thought that was definitely going to be ball number 4, and he goes down as the 4th strikeout victim of Liam O'Sullivan's. John Griffin. John Griffin comes to the plate. The right-handed power bat hit a no-doubt home run over the batter's eye in center field, which sits at 400 feet. It's the only no-doubter we've seen here in Southern Maryland this season. Additionally, it's the only Blue Crab that's hit a home run over that batter's eye this season. In fact, coming into this homestand, I told you that I had only seen 1 home run to center field this season in Southern Maryland and only 2 home runs, only 1 home run, I beg your pardon, to right field. That being said, there has been a whole lot of home runs here in Southern Maryland this season, just basically all of them to left field or to left center field. We can give you those exact numbers on how many home runs there have been here in Southern Maryland this season in just a moment. The Blue Crabs at home have hit 40 home runs, while their opponents have hit 44. Griffin takes on the outside corner, and the count falls to no balls and make that 1 ball and 2 strikes. That means coming into this series, the Blue Crabs had hit a total of 38 home runs to left or center field, while their opponents had hit 39 home runs to left or center field. And they combined for 1 home run to the opposite direction and 1 home run to center field. Get you some interesting stats here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network on a Sunday morning. Maybe the afternoon now, the time 3:12, so definitely the afternoon. First pitch of this contest was back at 2:07. We are past the halfway point in Southern Maryland. As we take into the bottom of the 5th, Griffin swings through a slider on the outside corner, and he goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts, one looking, one swinging for Liam O'Sullivan, who has now struck out 5 batters, and Ruby Silva comes to the dish. Silva has struggled this season against the Somerset Patriots. He's hitting just 130 against Somerset coming into the day in 14 games played. That being said, he's 1 for 1 today. Picked up a hit for the 6th time in his last 7 games. Currently riding a 2-game hit streak. He requests time and receives it. Travis Witherspoon awaits on deck. The 8-hitter in the Blue Crabs lineup up to the dish. Silva takes on the outside corner. It catches for strike number 1. There's a lot of intricacies that come with the automated ball strike system. One of them being that guys that stand pretty far away from the plate are going to get penalized on the outside corner. Silva gets one on the inside and fouls it off. But pitchers seem to really just dart that outside corner to Ruby Silva. On the flip side, a guy like Dean Green, who really crowds the plate, is getting pegged on the inside corner. They're balls that are so close to him because he's very close to the plate, they look like balls. But assuming the automated ball strike system is not making a mistake, you'd have to imagine that those would be the reasons. Silva pops one up to the right side. It was a bunt attempt. He runs right into the pitcher, and Silva, a good guy as always, ran into the pitcher, but gives him a hug and makes sure he stays afloat. We're through 5 in Southern Maryland. The score 1-0. Patriots on top. We'll be right back.
So, what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home. Whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
This is Charlie Valerio, and you are listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
To the top of the 6th we go here in Southern Maryland. It's Daryl Thompson back on the mound for his 6th inning of work. The right-hander's been awfully good to this point. He has struck out 3 batters while allowing 1 run. It was earned. That was on an Edwin Espinal single right up the middle. Daryl has walked one in 5 innings of work. Thompson's allowed 3 hits, 2 of them from Will Kenger, who steps up to the plate right now. Kenger additionally scored the 1 run Thompson has allowed, as this one fouled back over the screen. The count 0-1. Kenger led off that top of the first inning with a single right up the middle. Daryl then retired 8 straight before allowing a double to Will Kenger in the top of the 4th. Espinal with 1 down, grounded 1 up the middle for an RBI single, as Thompson works the count even at a ball and a strike. Kenger has been very consistent all season long. The left-handed batsman came into today with a .321 batting average, ground ball down the right field line and foul. With the 2 for 2 day to this point, Kenger now sitting at .325. Daryl Thompson continues his treacherous path for a Atlantic League single-season strikeout record. Coming into today, he was on average for 170 2/3 strikeouts for the season. That would be far and away more than anybody has ever had in the Atlantic League. With Thompson's 3 strikeouts today, he sits at 131 on the season. So he's just 34 away from breaking the Atlantic League strikeout record. 1-2. Inside corner, well hit down the right field line, and Ruby Silva on the backtrack. That ball will pinball in the right field corner, and Will Kendrick can do nothing but hit. And that's exactly, you'd have to assume, why Brett Jody put him in the leadoff spot. Coming into this series, he was very infrequently used as a leadoff man. In fact, I don't know that he was ever used as a leadoff man. That being said, he's led off every game of this series and done an awfully good job. Was 1 for 4 in the opener and is 3 for 3 today. He has 3 of the 4 Somerset Patriot hits. Justin Pacioli steps up to the dish. He's 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking in the first and popped up to second base back in the 4th inning. Here we are in the 6th. Thompson with a slim look back to second. Bunt attempt shown, but it's pulled back and it's ball number 1 as Justin Pacioli steps back in. Pacioli wears number 1 on his Somerset Patriots jersey. Really interesting note on Justin after this pitch. A ball and no strikes. Thompson looks back. Here comes the 1-0. Upstairs, but it catches for strike number 1. Now, the goal of the Atlantic League and the players thereof is to get to affiliated ball, right? One would think, but Justin Pacioli last season turned down a spring training invite from the Boston Red Sox to rejoin the Somerset Patriots. You don't hear that too often. A ball and a strike the count. Curveball in there for strike number 2. Nice pitch by Daryl. He has the nastiest curveball in the Atlantic League as he's in search of strikeout number 2 today. Coming in today, 164 strikeouts is what he's looking for. 165 would give him the all-time record in the Atlantic League. As the right-hander has Justin Pacioli 1-2. He's already struck him out once today. Curveball right up the middle. Edwin Garcia's going to throw to third. Instead, wisely pump fakes and throws it off to first base. Interestingly, Edwin Garcia has just moved to second base recently. Typically, when a ground ball is hit off to the right side, you automatically go to third as a runner. Yesterday, Edwin Espinal did that and was thrown out at third by Edwin Garcia. Garcia had thoughts of doing it again today, but instead throws off to first. So 1 down, Edwin Espinal back to the dish. He had an RBI single his last time up. That was in the top of the 4th, and that drove in the only run that we've seen all day today. Infield in for the Blue Crabs. Espinal back to the dish. Thompson. First pitch, curveball on the outside corner, 1-0 the count. Daryl is the type of guy that's going to go right after batters. He self-proclaims as not a strikeout pitcher. Nonetheless, whether he tries to or not, he gets the strikeouts. Espinal awaiting at the dish. Here comes the pitch. Curveball inside corner. It will miss. 2-0 the count. So the infield in for the Blue Crabs. Tony Thomas at third. Kent Blackstone at short. At second base, Edwin Garcia. And at first, Josh McAdams. Last time Espinal was at the dish, he singled a ground ball right up the middle for that RBI single. The count 3-0. It is the 3rd time today that Thompson has had a 3-ball count. One of them, he induced Edwin Espinal into a ground ball double play. The very next time up, he did issue a walk. That was to Michael Krause. Slider on the outside corner. Daryl Thompson issues a walk. And that is a very, very rare sight. Although, that being said, you'd have to imagine that Thompson, while he wasn't necessarily intentionally walking Edwin Espinal, you'd have to imagine that Espinal was likely being pitched around, considering he's the guy that has the RBI single. Additionally, putting a runner at first sets up the double play ball very nicely. So now we see the Blue Crabs defense go back on their heels. And Southern Maryland is among the top of the league in ground ball double plays induced. In 104 games this season, the Blue Crabs have drawn a total of 66. Specifically against the Somerset Patriots, The Blue Crabs have drawn 15 ground ball double plays from Patriot bats in 16 games played. That is tremendous. Coming back to the dish is Michael Ullman. 0-1, fouled back into the screen, and the count 0-2 to Ullman. So Thompson issues 2 walks for the first time in some time. The last time that Daryl Thompson found himself issuing more than 1 walk was some time ago. We'll get you that official number in just a moment as Daryl pops back onto the mound. He has been tremendous all season long. The last time he walked 2 batters was back on July 18th, so a month ago to the date, and he strikes out Michael Ullman. Strikeout number 4 of the day for Daryl Thompson. Strikeout number 132 of the year, still by far and away leading the Atlantic League, and still keeps him on pace to break the Atlantic League strikeout record. Michael Krause comes up to the dish. He drew one of the 2 walks from Thompson today. Additionally, he lined out to the shortstop Kent Blackstone for the second out of the second inning. 1-0 Patriots. They have 4 hits to the Blue Crabs 3 here in the top of the 6th. Thompson with his first pitch and a ground ball foul to the left side. No thoughts of even going after that ball by the Blue Crabs bullpen. As Thompson continues the strikeout numbers. Appreciate you listening here as the Blue Crabs continue their playoff push. Coming into today, just 2 games out from the tie between the the York Revolution and the Sugarland Skeeters at the top of the Freedom Division. Off speed, fouled off to the right side. The count, no balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed batsman Michael Krause. Thompson walks off to try to get that baseball in foul territory, but instead we find a bad boy coming to get it. I wanted to say that was Nick Wollenhouse, but I don't believe he is. I believe we have a fill-in bat boy for the day. Typically, Nick Wollenhouse, the first base bat boy, the opponent's bat boy, as a curveball catches the bottom of the strike zone. Daryl Thompson had runners on the corners with just 1 down. Strikes out back-to-back batters, and we're through 5.5 in Southern Maryland. Thompson with his 5th strikeout of the day, his 133rd of the season, and he continues what already has been a gem. We take into the bottom of the 6th in Southern Maryland, a 1-0 Patriots lead here on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Ruby Silva, and you are listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
We take you into the bottom of the 6th inning here in Southern Maryland as the Blue Crabs continue to fight a battle against these Somerset Patriots. It's a 1-0 contest. Daryl Thompson has been fantastic on the mound for the Blue Crabs. Traditionally, Southern Maryland gives Daryl Thompson very good run support, but we knew it was going to be a defensive battle today. Coming into this contest, the 2 pitchers that were tossing for each respective team came in with the 8th and 9th best ERAs in the Atlantic League. Liam O'Sullivan for the Somerset Patriots came in with a 3.43 ERA, while Daryl Thompson came in 13 and 6 with a 3.45 ERA. Travis Witherspoon leads us off as the Blue Crabs have gone down in order in each of their last 2 innings. To this point, Southern Maryland with just 3 hits, one of them from Edwin Garcia, one of them from Josh McAdams, and honestly, that looked to be the best run-scoring opportunity to this point in the game for the Blue Crabs. That was back in the bottom of the first. Garcia singled, and Josh McAdams followed with one of his own to the right field side. But Garcia tried to stretch it into third, and on a controversial play, he was called out, despite the play being awfully close. Strike number one on the outside corner to Travis Witherspoon. As we are already in the bottom of the sixth inning here in Southern Maryland, just 1 hour and 19, make that 21 minutes into this game. 0-2 the count to Travis Witherspoon, and Liam O'Sullivan has thrown just 58 pitches through 5 innings. 2 of them here in this bottom of the sixth. Ken Blackstone awaits on deck with Edwin Garcia in the hole. The 0-2 from O'Sullivan just a touch outside, the count 1-2. Witherspoon spent 7 years in the minor leagues, split between the Los Angeles Angels, Seattle Mariners, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Interesting note on him after this pitch as it misses outside. Last night, Travis Witherspoon was using a Mike Trout bat. He knows Mike Trout, one of the best players in the history of the game of baseball. And he broke that Mike Trout bat and gifted it to our bat boy, Will Woolenhouse. Really nice gesture by Travis, or Spoonie as Will called it. 2-2 outside corner and the count full after this count started out at 0-2. We've worked to full to Travis Witherspoon, who is 1 for 10 against the Patriots in 3 games this season, 2 for 12 in the homestand, 2 walks drawn. This pitch inside, and the third walk of this homestand has been drawn from Travis Witherspoon. Beautifully constructed lineup for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs by their manager, Stan Clyburn. The speediest 2 players on this team bat 9th and 1st, Witherspoon and Blackstone. You be the decider of who has better speed. And Daisuke Yoshida immediately slaps on the signs. I mean, this was just drawn up. You couldn't have drawn it up any better in this half inning. The speediest guy on the team arguably is on base. The second next speediest guy, maybe the speediest, in Blackstone up to the dish. He shows bunt, and a good one. It's down the right field line. A turn, a throw to second in time. The throw to first not in time as the Blue Crabs sacrifice bunt attempt. Turns back and shoots themselves in the foot. So the Blue Crabs had an opportunity to get their best RBI man of late, Edwin Garcia, up to the dish with a runner in scoring position. That turns into a very nice play from Edwin Espinal, who's been the deciding factor in this contest. Espinal has the only RBI in this game. Additionally, Edwin Espinal just turned a potentially game-saving play with a nice throw to second. So a walk led off this inning from Travis Witherspoon, and a putout on a fielder's choice puts Kent Blackstone out at first. He has great speed. In the second half, he's already stolen 13 bags in 35 games. It's his first time on base today. Edwin Garcia at the dish. He has one of the 3 Blue Crabs hits. Garcia already has 22 RBIs in his first 35 games in this second half. Additionally, Edwin last season found himself knocking in a total of 33 RBIs in 119 games. Blackstone goes on the pitch. Yovan Gonzalez with a throw down. It's in time, and the Blue Crabs struggling at this point. Blackstone tried to sacrifice over to second base Travis Witherspoon, but Witherspoon was thrown out after a line drive of a bunt came off the bat of Kent Blackstone. Not a line drive, just a little bit harder than you'd like, and now Blackstone thrown out at second. So for the second time in this contest, the Blue Crabs have a runner thrown out on the bases that was trying to advance deeper into scoring position. One of those was Edwin Garcia, as he fouls one away. Earlier in this contest, Garcia singled in the bottom of the first. Josh McAdams singled right after him. But Garcia tried to advance to third base and was thrown out trying to get there. So now the Blue Crabs with 2 down after a run-scoring opportunity has left the grasp of Southern Maryland. Nobody on, and a line drive to the right side. That should have dropped, but Michael Kraus in right field was playing extremely shallow. Wow. I am shocked at how shallow he was playing as Kraus and Garcia exchange a glare as Kraus walks off the field. And we're through 6 in Southern Maryland. Daryl Thompson when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Chafee, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
So after a run-scoring opportunity slips out of the hands of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, we can look back at two instances in which the Blue Crabs have fallen away from a potential go-ahead or tie situation. I say that only because in a regular game, I would not even be mentioning these things, but the plot has been thickened by what we saw coming into today's contest, considering the fact that on Sundays, the Somerset Patriots pitching staff combines for a league-best 2.75 ERA. Additionally, here in Southern Maryland today, we find ourselves with a very hot day, and on hot Sundays, it is typically quick, low-scoring games. As Daryl Thompson's going to tell Charlie Valerio he doesn't even want to talk about signs. He wants to keep pitching. Thompson is known to pitch very fast and issue pitches very often. Top of the seventh, stepping in, is the catcher, Jovan Gonzalez. First pitch to him is in there for strike number one. Gonzalez comes up to the dish, 0 for 2. He has hit into an out in each of his first two times, recording the third and final out of the Somerset Patriots' second and fourth innings. Interestingly, Gonzalez is the only Patriot to have a multi-hit games in each of the first two games of this series. As he lofts one off to the right side, Ruby Silva comes in on this baseball, and he will catch it for out number one. Thompson's been tremendous as always today. The right-hander has allowed just 4 hits while striking out 5 batters, including a situation back in that bottom, make that top of the 6th, where the Patriots had runners on the corners with just 1 down, and Thompson issued back-to-back strikeouts. So after a fly out to right field, we've got the 7, 8, 9 of the order coming up. This is the weakest statistical part of the order for the Patriots. It's Craig Massey, Teodoro Martinez, and Scott Kelly. As we sit here, those batting averages sitting at 224, 162, and 211. Fastball swung on and fouled off, the count of ball and a strike. As Massey steps into the right-handed batter, make that left-handed batter's box. In 12 games played against the Blue Crabs this season, Craig is 9 for 40 with 3 RBIs and 4 runs scored. Thompson issues a lofty curveball hit high in the sky off to the right side. Garcia and Vaughn convening. Vaughn catches it for out number 2. So you got a feel for Daryl Thompson, who has now thrown 6 2/3 innings while allowing just 1 earned run. The Blue Crabs do have somebody up in the bullpen, meaning that if this is Daryl's last inning of work, Thompson would now be in line for the loss or the no decision. That's significant considering the fact that the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson, has had a win in each of his last 11 starts. No decisions, no losses for the right-hander. His former teammate Teodoro Martinez steps into the right-handed batter's box. Number 5 today is 0 for 2. 2 down, nobody on, a off-speed on the outside corner. The count 2 balls and no strikes to Teodoro Martinez. Thompson has gotten a pair of soft pop-outs to start off this top of the 7th inning. Kevin Munson up and throwing in the Blue Crabs' pen. 3-0 will miss. Thompson on the verge of walking his third batter of this contest. That is very, very rare. Now, it's worth mentioning that one of those walks seemed slightly intentional. He pitched around Edwin Espinal. 3-0 misses, and Daryl Thompson has now walked 3 batters. This is the first time that Daryl has walked 3 batters since May the 7th. This is the 22nd start of the season for Daryl, and now in 20 of his 22 starts, he's walked 2 or less batters. In his last 5 starts or his last 35 innings coming into today, he had walked 2 batters combined. The whip for Daryl came in today at 1 flat. So a very rare day for Daryl Thompson. Scott Kelly comes up to the dish. A runner at first with 2 down. Runner thinks about going on the pitch. Strike 1 called on the outside corner as Scott Kelly comes up to the plate. If this is Daryl's last inning of work, he has struck out 5 batters, so still on track to break the Atlantic League strikeout record. Bunt down the left field line. Thompson sprints, trying to get it in foul territory, but it rolls that way itself, and the count 0-2. Scott Kelly, to this point on the day, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He has recorded the third and final out of both the third and the fifth innings for the Somerset Patriots. Mentioned that walks plus hits per inning mark for Daryl Thompson. It would sit at 1 flat for today's contest, despite the 3 walks. If this inning goes as it looks it's going to, as the count goes to 0-2 to the 9-hole hitter, Scott Kelly. Kelly awaiting the next pitch. 0-2, a curveball hit early. And off to the left side, Thompson's fastball sits in the low 90s, while his curveball sits in the 70 range, probably the low 70s. So hitters are usually so confused by that pitch that they take it, but Kelly was waiting for it, but he still was out in front of it and hits it off to the left side and foul. Thompson leans out looking for his sign, pitch number 90 inbound for Daryl. Runner goes on the pitch and misses up high, and off-balance throw from Charlie Valerio off the mark, and Teodoro Martinez is now in scoring position as Scott Kelly comes to the plate. A ball and 2 strikes to Kelly. Daryl Thompson has walked 3 batters in this contest for the first time since May the 7th. That means that it has been 18 starts since Daryl Thompson has walked 3 batters. Incredible numbers precision-wise for Daryl this season. The right-hander on his way with the 1-2. Curveball outside corner. It is hit to the left side. Blackstone gobbles off balance. Throw across the infield in there for out number 3. The 92nd pitch of Daryl Thompson's outing gets him his 21st out. And we take you into the bottom of the 7th. It is Sweet Caroline time on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Kent Blackstone, infielder for the Blue Crabs. Here at Regency Furniture Stadium, we've dedicated every Friday home game to remember everybody deployed. On Red Fridays, presented by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, the Blue Crabs will wear red uniforms to honor those who have served. Plus, tickets are just $5 when you show your military ID. Come help us celebrate those who have served our country at Regency Furniture Stadium every Friday night. This is Kent Blackstone, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
We take you into the bottom of the 7th with the meat of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs order coming to the plate. Right now, Josh McAdams, Tony Thomas, and Corey Vaughn set to come up to the dish. 3 of the best statistical batters for Southern Maryland, and you couldn't draw it up a whole lot better than that. The Blue Crabs saw a scoring opportunity come and go back in the bottom of the 6th. They led off with a walk. Kent Blackstone tried to bunt over Travis Witherspoon, but Witherspoon was thrown out at second. Blackstone got caught stealing as the first pitch to Josh McAdams misses outside from Liam O'Sullivan. As the Blue Crabs will look to score in this half inning, it looks as if Daryl Thompson's outing may be over. It is worth mentioning that Daryl Thompson is trying to pick up his 12th win in his last 12 starts. When he was trying to get to his 10th win in his last 10 starts, Southern Maryland was trailing going into the bottom of the 7th inning in that contest. The Blue Crabs plated 4 in that frame to give Daryl his 10th win in a row. Josh McAdams was also a pivotal part of that. So we come in with an exact same situation here in Southern Maryland as the offense looking to produce for the first time in the day. Liam O'Sullivan shakes off his catcher a pair of times. Here comes the 2-1. Outside corner, swung on and missed in the count 2-2. Thompson was tremendous today. He allowed just 4 hits while walking 3 for the first time since May 7th, but kept the Patriots off the board in every half inning outside of the top of the 4th. In that frame, Edwin Espinal had an RBI single. Fastball outside corner rings up Josh McAdams. He goes down looking. Out number 1 is come and gone as McAdams is now 1 for 3. Tony Thomas, the cleanup man, now comes to the dish as the Blue Crabs trying to give Daryl Thompson some sort of support. He allowed only 1 run in his 7 innings pitched, but the offense, which is typically producing for him at an incredibly high rate, has not given him any run support today. First pitch misses on the outside corner. Liam O'Sullivan has been just as good. The right-hander has gone 6 1/3 innings to this point. 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Tony Thomas grounds to the left side. A high bounce into the glove of Will Kenger. And Thomas is thrown out. So unless something crazy happens, if that was Daryl Thompson's last inning of work, incredibly, he will not pick up his 12th win in his last 12 starts. I say that because if the Blue Crabs were to come back and win in this game, the win would go to the reliever that comes in place, which looks like it will be Kevin Munson. Corey Vaughn steps into the right-handed batter's box. As an incredibly historic run for Daryl Thompson looks like it might be over. Can Vaughn save the day? Liam O'Sullivan out of the windup. First pitch swung on and missed on a beautiful off-speed on the outside corner. It has taken O'Sullivan just 75 pitches to get to this point in this contest. 50 of them have been strikes. 2/3 of his pitches in the strike zone. Is this one way outside? Vaughn, no intentions of stealing first base. As a Corey in the House song comes through the loudspeakers here at Regency Furniture Stadium. A ball and a strike the count. O'Sullivan coming home with his 1-1 to Corey Vaughn. Jams up Corey. It's back towards the backstop. Yovan Gonzalez comes on and catches. And Daryl Thompson's historic run very well could be over. We'll have to see if Daryl comes out for his 8th inning of work. And we will wait for that on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum is a place with thousands of stories to be told. It's a place to relive baseball's greatest moments and share them with future generations. It's a place to experience the game and how it has shaped our history. Cooperstown is a destination with something for the entire family. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your trip to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown at baseballhall.org.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Will Kenger will lead us off here in this top of the 8th inning. Daryl Thompson's day is over, as the right-hander incredibly found himself throwing a total of 7 innings of work, 4 hits, 1 run it was earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Thompson, despite allowing just 1 earned run, will come out of this contest, and he is in line for the loss. That means that he has no way to pick up the win today, as Edwin Garcia picks the ball out of the dirt, throws it over to first, and Will Kenger is retired for the first time today. He was 3 for 3 coming up to that plate appearance. But incredibly, Thompson found himself picking up the win in 11 straight starts coming into today. Daryl found himself picking up a win every single start from June 19th to August 13th, but is now in line for the loss. At the very least, he will get the no decision today. That being said, he pitched 7 innings, allowing just 1 run as Justin Pacioli dodges out of the way of danger. 1-0 the count. So a historic run for Daryl Thompson comes to an end as he gets no run support from his team. The only run driven in today was hit in by Edwin Espinal. Espinal 1 for 2 with a walk drawn and an RBI. Pacioli hits one into center field. Vaughn on the backtrack. He'll catch it over his head. What a catch by Corey Vaughn, as I believe he's dropped that baseball, actually. As I think he came up with it, but dropped it as he ran into the outfield wall. So Justin Pacioli picks up a triple. And interestingly, Justin Pacioli had trouble coming up with a baseball last night, where Pacioli dove at a ball in the right center gap. Josh McAdams was going for the inside the Parker and was thrown out by just inches by Ray Navarro. And Edwin Espinal comes up to the plate with a runner in scoring position for the 3rd time tonight. I don't have the official stats on it, but I can guarantee you that nobody else has done that, as he rips one down the left field line, and the Patriots get on top 2-0. Nice hit by Edwin Espinal, as he'll be held to first. Nice play by Travis Witherspoon. But Kevin Munson comes into the contest, and back-to-back base hits for the Patriots give the Patriots a 2-0 lead. The numbers for Kevin on the season: he's 1-3 with a 3.19 ERA coming in. In 31 innings pitched this season, he has allowed 29 hits, 17 runs, 11 of them earned, 16 walks, 19 strikeouts. As Michael Ullman comes up to the plate, the Blue Crabs see the York Revolution losing tonight. Not winning right now. They are trailing at this current moment the Lancaster Barnstormers by a score of 9-3. But the sad part about that is that this Blue Crabs Freedom Division has been so good in the second half that Southern Maryland doesn't only have to worry about the about the York Revolution. The Skeeters tied with the Revs on top of the Freedom Division second half. So even if the Blue Crabs and the Revs lose today, the Blue Crabs could still lose ground in the Freedom Division second half. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Runner at first base is Edwin Espinal. This one lofted off to the right side. It is worth noting that Daryl Thompson is still very much in line to break the Atlantic League strikeout record. The final line for Thompson on the day once more. He finds himself 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run it was earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. As I apologize, not quite sure what just happened. Believe somebody ran in front of the camera. Foul ball off to the right side. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. As Mike Ullman steps back into the dish. Daryl Thompson is on track for 169 strikeouts this season after today's game. After some quick math, thanks to the help of the calculator on my phone, he's in track for 169.27 strikeouts this season. The league record set by Jonathan Albaladejo back in 2016 for the Bridgeport Bluefish was 164. As Michael Ullman takes up stairs, and he goes down as strike number 3. 2 down, Kevin Munson with a nice strikeout. As stepping into the right-handed box will be Michael Kraus. Kraus steps into the right-handed batter's box. Today, Michael is 0 for 2. He did draw a walk as this one pounded high in the air to center field. Corey Vaughn comes under it, and he will catch for out number 3. Kevin Munson comes on, allows a run. It was earned, and we take you in to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs have some work to do when we return on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Charlie Valerio leads us off in the bottom of the 8th inning of baseball at Regency Furniture Stadium. Southern Maryland has accumulated just 3 hits through 7 innings of baseball. In the Blue Crabs' last 8 innings, in the Blue Crabs' last 6 innings, they have just 1 hit after having a pair of hits back in that first inning of play. Back in that first inning, the Blue Crabs had Edwin Garcia and Josh McAdams with back-to-back singles. On the latter of those singles, Garcia tried to advance to third base and was thrown out on a controversial call at third base. The ball and no strikes the count to Charlie Valerio. Liam O'Sullivan out for his 8th inning of work. He's been tremendous. As Valerio hits one to the right side, it will be a tough play, covering O'Sullivan in there just in time, as he'll catch it for out number 1. A 4-1 putout leads us off in the bottom of the 8th, and the Blue Crabs down to their final 5 outs of this contest. It would be monumental if Southern Maryland could come back and win. It is worth mentioning that we've seen a pair of comebacks in this series. In 2 games in this series, the team to score first did not win. After leading 2-0 going into the 7th inning of play, the Blue Crabs lost 5-2 to the Patriots in the series opener, as Griffin fouls one off of his face. That cannot feel good. He's cringing after his nose. He swung at that ball, and it bounced into the dirt and came back and hit him right in the face. I believe it got him in the nose, as Lauren Eck, the Blue Crabs trainer, will come out to check on John Griffin. But back in that series opener, the Blue Crabs heading into the 7th inning this season were a total of 32-6 when leading going into the 7th. They lost that contest after allowing 2 in the 7th and 3 in the 8th. The Blue Crabs were trailing 3-0 going into the third yesterday when they plated 2 runs in the bottom of the third, 6 runs in the bottom of the fourth. The Patriots put up 4 runs in the top of the 8th and have now scored 8 runs in the 8th inning in this 3-game series, incredibly, after they plated 1 in the top of the 8th. John Griffin finds himself hitting awfully well in this homestand after he looks to be okay. He steps back into the box. He's 6 for 17 with 2 runs scored in this homestand. He hit .400 against the Patriots coming into today in 8 games played. He had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, with one of those coming earlier in this series. O'Sullivan shakes off his catcher. He's ready. The 0-1 lofted over our heads in the press box. The count 0-2. 0-2 count to John Griffin. The Blue Crabs' designated hitter to this point in the contest is 0 for 2. He has recorded the 3rd out and the 2nd out, that coming in the 2nd and 6th innings. 0-2 misses outside, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Ruby Silva. In the hole, Travis Witherspoon. Witherspoon has been good today, as has Silva. Silva 1 for 2. Witherspoon has drawn a walk and pushed a sacrifice bunt. As John Griffin's at bat continues here with 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. Griffin fouls one off to the left side, just foul, says the third base umpire, Silvio Martinez, and we'll stay at 1-2. Liam O'Sullivan's thrown just 82 pitches through 7 1/3 innings of work. Came in with the 8th best ERA in the Atlantic League. Daryl Thompson came in with the 9th best ERA in the Atlantic League. Thompson still leads the league in wins, innings pitched, and strikeouts. Griffin fouls one off to the left side yet again, and he's going to make this one difficult on Liam O'Sullivan. It is worth mentioning that with Griffin's potential injury, looks to be okay from it, but it's worth mentioning that Southern Maryland doesn't have all that many players on their bench. Joe Benson, who's day-to-day right now, likely would not come in due to an injury, and Mike Falsetti, who caught each of the last 2 days, is the only other position player on the bench. 1-2 inside, it will miss. 2-2 the count. To be completely honest with you, if I was Stan Clyburn, my next option after Falsetti and Benson, if Benson is available, would be Matt Latos. And that's not a laughing matter. I mean, he's a guy that hit a home run in the MLB. He hit for a long time in the major leagues, and I saw him hit a couple of home runs in batting practice the other day. 2-2 misses on the outside corner, and we're full at 3-2. As Latos could potentially hit someday for the Blue Crabs, who's really to say? Griffin stands into the right-handed batter's box. Full count on its way, and John will foul this one off. Latos was a 131 batter in his 9 years in the MLB, and that's significant considering that Christian Yelich, Ken Griffey Jr., Javier Baez, Chipper Jones, Bryce Harper, and Mike Trout combined to hit worse than that against Matt Latos. 3-2 pitch on the inside corner. It jams up John Griffin, and he strikes out for out number 2. So here in the bottom of the 9th, the Blue Crabs down to their last 4 outs, but one more time, that note on Matt Latos. A 133 hitter in his own right in his career, but Christian Yelich, Ken Griffey Jr., Chipper Jones, Bryce Harper, and Mike Trout combined for a worst batting average against. This one fouled off to the right side. 0-1 the count to Ruby Silva. Additionally, Latos in his MLB career faced off against 3 different Hall of Fame position players. That would be Chipper Jones, Ken Griffey, and Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Those 3 also combined for a worse batting average than Latos' career batting average. Cowbell ringing here in Southern Maryland. 0-1, slapped foul by Ruby Silva, who will likely go get the ball himself as he usually does. And he will. He'll just give it off to the bat boy, Will Wollenhouse. 0-2 the count to Ruby. As this one comes in from the Blue Crabs bullpen. And Silva's not going to get this one himself. Can't tell who's in the Blue Crabs bullpen, but there is a right arm warming. Silva, a former Chicago Cubs prospect, Cuban native, hits one well to center field. Back on his horse is Justin Pacioli, but he comes under it for out number 3. So a well-struck ball is out number 3 in Southern Maryland, and we're down to our final inning here in Waldorf. The score 2-0 Patriots on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hey Blue Crabs fans, are you looking to watch a game from one of our luxury suites? How about the High-End Legends Club in left field? Call 301-638-9788 and ask to speak to a sales representative about your party or group outing.
This is Andrew Johnston, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Ryan Chafee onto the mound for the 9th inning for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Chafee has been awfully good here in this second half. In 9 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed just 2 earned runs while striking out 12 batters. He has a 1.86 ERA. Last season, Ryan Chafee appeared in 70 games. 70 of the 126 Blue Crabs games last season featured Ryan Chafee as Yovan Gonzalez takes strike number 1 on the outside corner. But Ryan Chafee's 70 appearances were good for the 5th most in Atlantic League history, and that's significant considering that it was a shortened season. No balls, 2 strikes from Chafee to Gonzalez. Ryan back out onto the mound, number 26, issuing his next pitch, fouled off. Chafee appeared in 55% of the Blue Crabs games last season. That might be a league record in terms of percentage of games pitched in for any pitcher in the history of the Atlantic League. A note on Daryl Thompson, he is still in line for breaking the Atlantic League strikeout record. As this one gets away from Charlie Valerio, Yovan Gonzalez really not looking to steal first, although Charlie Valerio keeps his eye on him. Thompson is in line for the loss, even if the Blue Crabs come back and win. Thompson would find himself with a no decision. So after 11 straight starts, picking up a win, Thompson will not get one today. That comes after issuing 7 innings of brilliance, in which Daryl allowed just 1 earned run and 4 hits. The run support just has not been there for the Blue Crabs today. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson in line to break the Atlantic League record for strikeouts, on pace for 169 on the season. That would break the 164 issued by Jonathan Albaladejo as a member of the Bridgeport Bluefish back in 2016. The Atlantic League was founded back in the late 1990s. Here we are almost into 2020. So anytime you can break a league record of that significance, it is extremely, extremely impressive. 3-2 the count. Ryan Chafee on the mound. Chafee comes in with a 5.66 ERA. In his last appearance, he relieved for Daryl Thompson. As this pitch hit right up the middle, bounces off the glove of Chafee. He'll sprint over, try to get it to first, but it won't be in time. As Josh McAdams makes a brilliant scoop out of the dirt, but that'll go down as a base hit single for Yovan Gonzalez. The last time Chafee appeared, he came in against the Sugarland Skeeters. I beg your pardon, 2 times ago when Chafee appeared. He came in against the Sugarland Skeeters in the 9th inning. There was runners on the corners. They were both accredited to Daryl Thompson. And the first pitch he threw was a 3-run home run by the catcher Albert Cordero for the Sugarland Skeeters. The catcher for the Patriots leads us off with a single. And here comes the 7-hitter, Craig Massey. First pitch to him, high and tight, and the count 1-0. Massey, followed by Teodoro Martinez and Scott Kelly, the 3 hitters on this lineup with the lowest batting averages. This one misses inside the count, 2 balls and no strikes. So Chafee starts off that at bat 0-2, but falls behind 2-2, and then allows a single. Massey 0 for 3 today. Martinez 0 for 2 with a walk. Scott Kelly 0 for 3. The walks have been a concern for Ryan Chafee this season. As in the second half even, despite the 1.86 ERA, he's already walked 12 batters for his 12 strikeouts. The count 3-0. Against the Patriots this season, Chafee has issued 5 innings of work in 3 different appearances. As this one misses just a touch inside, and runners are at first and second here with nobody out. As Charlie Valerio would like to have a conversation with Ryan Chafee regarding his signs. In Chafee's 5 innings of work against the Patriots this season, 2 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 8 walks, 7 strikeouts. And it would be quite interesting to see if Ryan Chafee was taken out of this game, but he has to face 3 batters, of course, before coming out per the Atlantic League MLB rule changes. But if he was to come out of this contest, who would make the move? Because Daryl Thompson's been doing all the pitching changes of late. He is the pitching coach. But, of course, Daryl started today. You'd imagine he wouldn't come take the pitcher out. Joe Walsh up near the top step. He's the bench coach for the Blue Crabs. Teodoro Martinez steps into the batter's box. He shows bunt, but Chafee's offering misses low. And the count 1-0. Chafee has thrown 12 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Make that 13 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. After starting off the first at bat 0 for 2. Make that 0-2. To Yovan Gonzalez, who now stands at second. Martinez shows bunt again, pulls back, snap, throw down to first in time. Charlie Valerio with a laser down to first base and picks up Ryan Chafee. What a throw. 2 balls, no strikes the count, but the Blue Crabs feeling much better now. After Craig Massey was thrown out at first. He drew a walk. That was after Gonzalez led off this 9th inning with a single. Teodoro Martinez the dish, 2 balls, no strikes to his former teammate Ryan Chafee. 2-0, catches the outside corner, 2-1 the count. Chafee was originally a 3rd-round draft pick in the 2008 MLB June Amateur Draft by the Los Angeles Angels out of Chipola Junior College. He pitched a combined 8 seasons in the Angels and Marlins systems. He appeared at the AAA level on 4 separate occasions. Very impressively, he began his pro career. Typically, when a guy's drafted, you'll go to the rookie ball level. But immediately after being drafted, Chafee, who came out of a junior college, went right to the single A level and played for the AAA Angels affiliate just 3 years after being drafted. Chafee was a top prospect in that organization. And a count 2-2 to Teodoro Martinez after fouling off yet another pitch. So if a guy goes to a college for 3, maybe 4 years, then it wouldn't be such a shock if he went straight to the single A level. A guy that's drafted at a high school is seen to need a little bit more preparation before going to the higher levels, so they send him to rookie ball. But a guy at a junior college is not very frequently going to go right to the single A level. Chafee did just that. Chafee is not the only Blue Crab to make it to the high levels very fast. Matt Latos, the Blue Crabs closer, made his MLB debut at the ripe age of 21, which is almost unheard of. He just flew through the San Diego Padres minor league affiliates. 3-2 pitch spoiled off, and 6 pitches, make that 7 pitches, aren't enough to retire Teodoro Martinez. He is 0 for 2 today. His batting average sitting at 162. Teo started this season in the American Association with a pair of teams before coming back to the Atlantic League. He was a .285 hitter for the Blue Crabs throughout the duration of the 2018 season. Had an extremely hot month of May last year. As he'll step out, he very frequently requests time from the home plate umpire and does it again here. Before being drafted in the 3rd round, Chafee was originally a 43rd round draft pick by the Atlanta Braves. So wisely turned down the 43rd round draft pick to get taken in the 3rd round. You'd have to imagine a lot more signing bonus money came through that. 3-2, chopped foul. And the 8th pitch of the at-bat's not going to do it either. When you are signed out of a draft by a major league club, a huge portion of the money that you make early, because you don't make a whole lot of money in the minor league levels, a huge portion of the money that you make early comes through a signing bonus. So they give you a whole bunch of money right when you're drafted. But typically, not always at all, but typically, the higher the round that you're drafted, the less signing bonus you're going to get, and vice versa. A different story on that, Matt Perk, a starter for the Sugarland Skeeters, was drafted 14th overall, turned it down, and got a way bigger signing bonus when he's drafted in the 3rd round a couple years later. 3-2 hit well to the left side, and that ball will leave this park as Teodoro Martinez bat flips, and the score now 4-0. The 3rd home run of the season in a Somerset Patriots jersey for Teodoro Martinez as he rounds third base, points at his third base coach, and will come around to score. Teo, the former Blue Crab, has now 6 RBIs in this series for the Somerset Patriots. Interestingly, Teodoro has knocked in a third of the Patriots' runs in this series. Teo has 6 RBIs in 3 games. The Patriots have scored 18 runs in 3 games this series. Those are the 3 hits that Martinez has in this series, as well as this pitch on the outside corner. And our home plate umpire is going to call time so that this play is blown dead because the ball got past Charlie Valerio. That puts the opportunity in front of the man at the plate, Scott Kelly, to steal first base. So the home plate umpire has to call time to signify that his opportunity of window has closed to steal first base. 1-0 on the outside corner, it catches. The count, a ball and a strike. As Ryan Chafee's night continues. Final line on Kevin Munson, who tossed the 8th inning. He pitched an inning. 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, and a strikeout. Chafee has now gone a third, allowing a pair of hits, walking 1, allowing 2 runs, both of them earned after the Teodoro Martinez 2-run home run. This pitch jammed in foul, and the count, a ball and 2 strikes. 4-0 the score. The Somerset Patriots have been extremely effective in innings 7 through 9 in this series. Get you some numbers on that in a moment. As Ryan Chafee comes home with a pitch, it's a curveball that misses, and the count 2 balls and as many strikes. In game 1 of this series, the Patriots scored 5 runs in innings 7 through 9, 0 in the first 3. Yesterday, they scored 3 runs in the first 6 innings of the contest. As the ball's hit to the right side, Ruby Silva will come on and catch for out number 2. And today, they score 0 runs in the first couple of innings. In the first 6 innings, I should say. So that means that as we sit right now, The Somerset Patriots have scored 13 runs in innings 7 through 9 in this series, while scoring 3 runs in innings 1 through 6. And the call is made down to the bullpen. Ryan Chafee's day is over. I believe Michael Kelly will come in for the Blue Crabs to try to shut things down. And when we come back on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Hi, this is Hall of Famer Carlton Fisk. Make your plans today to visit Cooperstown and the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Reconnect with your memories of the game and make new memories with your family. Check out baseballhall.org today for more information.
Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there, Joe.
National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, preserving history, honoring excellence, and connecting generations.
This is Corey Vaughn. Are you looking for fun on the weekend without breaking the bank? My Eye Doctor Backfin Buddies is for you. For just $15, your child will get in for free to every Friday Blue Crabs home game all season long. Plus, kids receive a Backfin Buddies t-shirt, go on the field for the national anthem, and parents will get a reduced ticket rate. What more could you ask for? Come watch me hit a home run every Friday for just $15.
This is Josh McAdams, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
Michael Kelly, the newcomer onto the mound for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The right-hander is making his first relief appearance in some time as he misses outside with a pitch. The count 1-0. Kelly found himself working out of the bullpen at the very, very beginning of this season. He then made a whole lot of starts before moving back to the bullpen starting today. 1-0 misses for ball number 2. We look at the numbers on Michael Kelly. Kelly comes in with a 3-8 record and a 5.36 ERA. That ERA has gone up a little bit in his last couple of starts as a changeup catches the inside corner. 2-1 the count. Kelly came out of the bullpen in his first 2 appearances of the season. His next 17 were in starting roles, and now he comes back to the bullpen for the first time since April 29th. Off-speed pitch will just miss, and the count 3 balls and a strike. Nobody aboard, 2 down as Michael Kelly comes onto the mound. The Blue Crabs have struggled in innings 7 through 9 in this series. The count is 3-1 to Will Kenger as this pitch misses and a walk has been drawn from Michael Kelly. In this series, Southern Maryland in innings 1 through 6, in games 1 through 3 of the series, have given up a total of just 4 runs in those 18 innings. But in the innings of 7 through 9 to this point, the Blue Crabs have given up 13 runs. So it's been those latter innings that have been the struggle, which is awfully interesting considering that this is a Southern Maryland bullpen, and we must take into account that a lot of the runs that have scored have been unearned, but nonetheless, this is a Blue Crabs bullpen that typically just shuts it down at the flip of a dime. When you go into the latter portion of a game, you almost just expect the other team to not score. The count goes to 0-1 to Justin Pacioli. Pacioli steps into the right-handed batter's box facing off against Michael Kelly. Off-speed pitch misses on the inside corner. The count 1-1. Daryl Thompson exited this contest after 7 innings of play. Kevin Munson allowed a run in the 8th. Ryan Chafee allowed a pair in the 9th. And the Blue Crabs have just 3 hits in this contest. 2 of them came in the first inning. Edwin Garcia and Josh McAdams each singled, but Garcia was thrown out trying to get to third base. The other one that hurts if you're Southern Maryland is this one. Misplay by Garcia, fired to first, not in time. And that will get yet another base runner aboard. It's the first, if that does go down as an error, it would be the very first error of this contest in its entirety. As the Blue Crabs have been very clean today, that will go down as an error. So Pacioli aboard via the E4, a very rare error for Edwin Garcia. Coming into today, there was 7 errors in the first 2 games of this series. No errors through 8 innings, but now the Patriots have runners on first and second with Edwin Espinal, who's been the deciding factor throughout a good part of this contest up to the dish. He drove in the very first run for the Patriots of this contest. That was way back in the top of the 4th inning. He also took away what could have been a scoring opportunity from the Blue Crabs back in the bottom of the 6th when Kent Blackstone was trying to move Travis Witherspoon off to second base with a sacrifice bunt. Espinal came in, fielded, and threw to second, throwing out Travis Witherspoon. Blackstone would later be caught stealing. And the Blue Crabs, who were just trying to score their first run of the contest to tie things up, found themselves not scoring. So those would be the 2 real good scoring opportunities for Southern Maryland today, but that's all you can get if you're Southern Maryland, considering that the Blue Crabs have drawn 1 walk and have 3 hits in this contest. The count 2-1 to Edwin Espinal. Liam O'Sullivan has been fantastic. He's gone 8 innings, allowing 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. The count 2 balls and a strike to Edwin Espinal on a hot day here in Southern Maryland. Currently 93 degrees as this ball hit well to the left side and will exit Regency Furniture Stadium most likely, and it does. It's a 3-run shot for Edwin Espinal, who has easily been the most important player in this entire contest. So it is a 6-run top of the 9th for the Somerset Patriots. And I believe there's some words being exchanged here between Edwin Espinal and Charlie Valerio. Excuse me, not between Valerio and Espinal. It's between the dugout and Edwin Espinal. Valerio is always the peacekeeper in those situations. And words are still being exchanged as Espinal will now come back towards the Blue Crabs dugout. A really, really good job by Brett Jody. A lot of respect to him right there. He's a man I've grown some respect for. Didn't really have a theory either way, whether I had respect or no respect for him coming in, but I've easily gained a lot coming into this series, as he right there immediately stopped Edwin Espinal the second he tried to get back out of the dugout, as he tried to come back out and try to have a word with the Blue Crabs bullpen, the Blue Crabs dugout and bullpen. Southern Maryland was extremely unhappy with the rate at which Edwin Espinal was running the bases, as tempers flare here in Southern Maryland. It is typically frowned upon in the game of baseball to jog around the bases. I'm not quite sure why that is a rule, and it makes sense. I mean, I get it. I've seen it my whole life, but it's just a sign of disrespect, basically. It hurts if you're the Blue Crabs to allow some runs, so naturally, you'd like the home run trot to get done with as quickly as possible. Nonetheless, that is not what Espinal did, and the Blue Crabs were unhappy with it. A ball and a strike to count to the cleanup man, Michael Ullman, after the 5th home run of the season for Edwin Espinal. He now has 4 RBIs in this contest. 7-0 the score. I said earlier it was a 6-run top of the 9th. In fact, it's a 5-run top of the 9th. A curveball breaks the bat of Michael Ullman, a ground ball to the left side, and the throw to first in time. So Kent Blackstone records out number 3. We take into the bottom of the 9th with a 7-0 score on the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
So, what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home, whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
This is Corey Vaughn, and you're listening to the Blue Crabs Broadcast Network.
9-1-2 due up for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs as we take you into the bottom of the ninth inning. Travis Witherspoon leads things off. Witherspoon to this point has two plate appearances, finding himself having walked and issued a sacrifice bunt. So no official at bat to this point. First pitch from Liam O'Sullivan will catch the upstairs portion of the strike zone, I beg your pardon, as this inning starts out with a strike. O'Sullivan with his 92nd pitch of the evening. As the 0-1 misses inside, tails away towards the batter, and the count 1-1. Only 12 combined hits in this contest, 9 of them coming from the Somerset Patriots. The score 7-0. And it has been innings 7 through 9 that have killed the Blue Crabs in this series. Traditionally, this is a team that finds the innings 7, 8, 9 coming with very, very little runs from the opponents as Witherspoon swings through a pitch to make the count 2-2. But in this series, innings 1 through 6 have seen just 4 Somerset runs, while innings 7 through 9 have seen 15 Somerset Patriot runs. 2-1 on the inside corner and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. To this point in the contest, Liam O'Sullivan, 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Payoff pitch on its way. Here it comes. Hit to the ground ball to the left side. Shortstop Scott Kelly fields, fires across the infield for out number 1. 1 away, and Kent Blackstone comes up to the dish. The left-handed batsman, to this point in the contest, finds himself 0 for 3. He did reach base once, but was later caught stealing. Blackstone coming into today was hitting 7 for 21 in the homestand with an RBI, 2 doubles, 4 walks, and 5 runs scored. Scoring 5 runs in 6 games is not too shabby. Blackstone scores runs at an incredibly high rate. 0-1 the count. Part of that due to his incredible plate vision, which gets him on base quite often. A really good chunk of that as well is due to his speed. He's a guy with high baseball IQ. Fastball jams him up and he hits it off to the right side, the count 0-2. Edwin Garcia waits on deck. Garcia with one of the 3 Blue Crabs hits today. McAdams with the other. Ruby Silva has the third. Each of those individuals 1 for 3 in the contest, as this one high and tight. A ball and 2 strikes. Garcia and Josh McAdams singled in consecutive order in the bottom of the first, meaning that over his last 7 1/3 innings worked, Liam O'Sullivan has heated just 1 hit. That was from Ruby Silva's bat as he singled on a ground ball up the middle. Maybe part of that due to the fact that this is a Somerset defense that really shades left-handed hitters to the pull side as Blackstone fouls one off. The count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. First pitch was at 2:07. We are approaching, very much approaching, this 2.5-hour mark in this contest. Pitch misses outside and the count 2-2. This is the game that took just 33 minutes to get through the first 3 innings of play. As Kent Blackstone draws a 2-2 count. A rock back, here comes the pitch. It will miss outside, and I beg your pardon, that was a 3-2 count. So 1 down and a runner on here for Southern Maryland as Edwin Garcia comes up to the dish. Blackstone reaches base. Just the second walk issued by the right-hander Liam O'Sullivan today. As he comes back to the mound to face off against Edwin Garcia. Garcia singled in the first, and with Josh McAdams followed him with a single, Edwin tried to advance to third, and on a controversial play, he was called out at third base. 1-0 the count. The pitch count getting up there for the right-hander Liam O'Sullivan. He finds himself now having thrown 104 pitches. To this point in the season, his season high is 104 pitches, and now he eclipses that mark with 105 as Garcia fouls one off. The deepest that Liam O'Sullivan has worked into a game this season coming into today was 7 2/3 innings. That was back on August the 17th at the York Revolution. As this one hit to the left side and could be the ball game. 5-4-3, and Liam O'Sullivan completes the complete game shutout, allowing just 3 hits and 2 walks in the contest. Really nice performance from Liam O'Sullivan as the Somerset Patriots stun the Blue Crabs in the series finale to take the series as they take 2 of the 3 games in the contest. The Blue Crabs drop to 19-17 in the second half and still awaiting where they sit in terms of the division standings, considering the Skeeters play later tonight. The Blue Crabs dropped to 44-61 on the season. The Patriots, on the other hand, 14-22. They'll find themselves 56-50 on the season in its totality. As we go final here in Southern Maryland by a score of 7-0 in favor of the Somerset Patriots. The Patriots had 7 runs in each of the last 2 games of this contest, but lost last night by a score of 9-7. As the York Revolution are trying to stage a comeback in Lancaster, the score there 10-7 right now. Still going in High Point as well, as the Ducks are leading 8-4. That's a battle in the Liberty Division. As we take a look at the final box score, the Skeeters and the Bees slated to play later this evening. Some final contributors from this contest. Garcia finds himself going 1 for 4. He grounded into the game-ending double play. Josh McAdams goes 1 for 3. Ruby Silva 1 for 3. Travis Witherspoon 0 for 1. He had a sack bunt. In addition, he also found himself with a walk drawn. Blackstone also drew a walk. Daryl Thompson gets the loss for the first time since June 19th. He does not get a win in the contest. Thompson won 11 straight starts, but now loses his first in some time as the right-hander continues in this contest to get his 7th loss of the season. He's now 13-7 in the 2019 campaign. Liam O'Sullivan gets the win. He advances to 5-7 in 2019. No save in this contest. Edwin Espinal was the key player in this contest for the Somerset Patriots. He singled up the middle on a ground ball to score Will Kenger. It was the only run that Daryl Thompson would allow. Espinal again singled on a line drive in the top of the 8th to make the score 2-0, and yet again homered on a 3-run home run in the top of the 9th. Espinal and Will Kenger combined for a tremendous amount of offense today. Outside of Kenger and Espinal, the Patriots accumulated a total of 3 hits, but Espinal goes 3 for 4 with a home run and 5 RBIs, while Will Kenger goes 3 for 4 with a walk and 2 runs scored. It was an incredible contest for those two. Daryl Thompson gets the loss despite going 7 innings, walking 3, striking out 5, and allowing 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Thompson's ERA does take a dip, however, as it goes down to 3.35 on the season, as Thompson throws 91 pitches, 61 of them for strikes in the loss. Liam O'Sullivan goes 9 innings, allowing 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The rest of the line for the Blue Crabs pitchers, Kevin Munson goes an inning, 2 hits, a run, it was earned, no walks, and a strikeout. Ryan Chafee goes 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, they were both earned, 1 walk, no strikeouts. He also allowed a home run, as did Michael Kelly. He went 1/3 of an inning, allowing a hit, 3 runs. None of those runs were earned, however. He also walked a batter. We go final in Southern Maryland as the Blue Crabs drop a series finale at the hands of the Somerset Patriots and lose the series. We'll be home again on August the 30th. It's a doubleheader against the York Revolution beginning at 5:05. We'll go live at 4:50 on the 30th. But the Blue Crabs hit the road for 11 days. It starts with a really important 4-game set with the York Revolution. We're down here in Southern Maryland. Thanks so much for tuning in to another Blue Crabs game. We'll be back in a couple of days. Make sure you keep following the Blue Crabs as their playoff push continues. And once again, we go final from Southern Maryland. It's a 7-0 score. Thanks so much for tuning in. And most importantly, as always, let's go Blue Crabs.